Hello and welcome back to Inkpot, and this is our Let's Paint Horror series, and I'm Grant Smith, and today I'm just going to keep on working on this picture for you. This is not a live broadcast, but I'm recording it as if I am doing it live this time, and I've added in a little bit of ambient music in the background that I'm actually listening to as I draw. Alright, so since last time, there's not been a lot of changes here, but I did take some reference photos of my hands in different positions, and then I did a little line drawing here of kind of the shape. So I'm just going to fix up those hands there, probably first off the bat. So let's go down to layer of the woman here first. I'm just going to grab, make sure that's set to pick from colors from that layer. I'm going to grab the darker tone there. I'm going to grab a harder brush. And I'm just going to fill in kind of the area here that I'm redoing. Just starting from the shadow, working to light. Now I did put some little secondary lighting there. I'm just going to turn that off for now, so it's not messing with my color picker options, even though I do have it set for this specific layer. But it'll just help me when I'm picking the correct color. And, I had the layer below it on. I just had to fix that there. Grabbing, trying to grab the edge highlight there. Alright. Now, right now I just have that on a screen setting, so I'm just going to lower that right down to the point it's barely kind of visible there. Back here. Oh, on the wrong layer there, so just make sure I'll go back to the right layer. Collapse that. Right. There we go. Alright, so now grab better brush, my oil 3 brush. I now put a link in the description to Ahmed's brushes, so you can download and use the brushes that I'm using. I really do enjoy them. I think that they're very good brushes that I'm glad I found. There are many tutorials on how to upload or how to install the brushes in Clip Studio. It's pretty easy. There are some little peculiarities about it, like to get it popping up as an actual like sub menu there instead of it just adding into your brushes. Can be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but for the most part it's pretty straightforward. I'm just gonna get in the basic lighting in there for the hand. Now, as you see, I'm not really using the photo reference here for the tone and coloration of the shapes of the fingers. Reason being is that they're not at the same lighting angle, so it would really probably be more detrimental for me to use that than would be for me to just kind of use the line art that I've done from them to help lead and guide my use of them. I'll probably do something a little bit different for the nails there, since I don't have longer nails. But we might add in some kind of longer there. Now our original painting of the hands were fine. And I probably could have worked them till they worked perfectly, but using reference just really helps you get the final product where you want it a little bit easier. Take that down a little bit. Interesting. So there must still be some of the one painting on this layer of the mirror image down below. So when I collapse all that, I'll go in and I'll fix all that part. Grab the gouache blender here again. Just push the color around into the spots you want it. Soften up certain edges, keep other edges hard. Just gonna turn off that. Lighter tones and work those in there. Even though this tone isn't actually lighter, it's more saturated, so it gives the appearance of lightness compared to the previous color that I had in there. Bringing some of that shadow up into the fold of and there. You know, I am just going to turn on the reference here just to have it. It's pretty out of focus and blurry, but just so I do have some sort of idea. That one actually, the lighting is actually pretty similar to it being underlit, so possibly I can use that a little bit more. The knuckles actually up a little bit higher here. Okay. that knuckle a little bit, actually. That's where it's helping. The line art's good, but just little stuff. What I find interesting is that the actual nail section is quite bright compared to every other section around it. Stuff like that. I'll kind of only notice with the, if you are doing photo reference and such. But photo reference can also be deceiving in the fact that the camera doesn't really pick up reality completely the way it's actually portrayed. So something you need to be aware of. But it's good to also do life drawing from people who are actually there, and people out and objects out in the environment. Gonna give you a little bit more tools, a little bit more shorthand that you just know how certain things look and how the certain lighting looks in real life as opposed to photography. You'll see that a lot in like the changes from like the Dutch painters to from like Renaissance era painters is they have more of a photography stylization to the art style of the depictions of the scenes than you see in the like Renaissance painters, and we're painting all from usually what they assume were painted from models and stuff. I say assume because who knows if they did use camera obscura techniques and stuff like that, or what they were using back then. Unfortunately, well, there's only documentation of certain things in artistic process, and a lot of it is actually from reverse engineering, basically. And like, oh, well, they must have done this, they must have done that. So turn off the layer for a second so I can see the sketch layer. See, originally I had the hand way too long, like large, but in general it was very similar to the hand we're doing now. What I didn't do properly is the whole that the taking the reference photo really helped with was the actual pressing against something that was kind of missing in the, because the hand actually like concaves a lot more, where I had it more curved over so that each expression of the knuckles was kind of like a U shape between knuckle to knuckle, where actually the knuckles are more depressed and the bend in the hand is actually opposite, which I was kind of surprised when I actually looked at some of the photos here, like how much it of a bend when you're just not even pressing hard, just lightly pressing the hand up against the belly would do. Now, does that make the picture better, having just that little bit more realism to that part? Not really. I think people get caught up in realism. Which I've said many times. It's like, are you trying to do a photograph? Then be a photographer if you really want it. But you gotta bring your own personality and expression of tone and everything to it. Like, people might laugh at the skills of certain cartoonists, thinking that that their work looks like a child did it, but to be honest, it's the stylization of that work that really sets it apart and gives it a personality of its own. That's why you often see people start in realism and then end up somewhere else, because it's great to learn the skills, the shorthand, and then you can start breaking stuff. Second, I'm just gonna turn on a fan here. It's gotten too warm in here. This morning, though, I could not warm up, so I may have turned up the heat a little too much in here. Right, now I'm just going to turn off that line layer. I'm just going to go in here and smooth out some of these sections. Grab this tone and pull it back a little bit. And turn off the reference here. Alright, so I'm getting a weird kind of peaking there. Just gonna go and keep working on that. Working it out. Get it where I want it. I'm just lightening up all that area by just going over it gently with lighter color. And I can go back in a little bit smaller brush. Turn off the sketch layer back there. Distracting too. Shadow here being created by skin depression. Smoother, softer transition. Zoom out. You know, it looks kind of lumpy. Back in here. Flatten out the back of that hand a bit. Globally smoothing that out. Grab my blender here. Around color. Transitions a little bit smoother. Now, can make those sharper. Dark. Now this actually shouldn't be getting any more light. Yes. Soften. Research here that represented properly there. Hopefully dark color there. Make sure. Edge. Right, now time to really go in there with some better highlight. Doesn't seem bright enough. Brightest point on her might be here. Harder brush. Let's see. A bit better. I'm just gonna go rough. Yeah, ink brush. Not quite so. It's got a little bit more of a soft edge than, say, some of the other ones that we were using there, than the actual inking brushes. Especially when you start pressing lighter. Light direction is proper. Getting coming below and up. Here. Stuff generally looks muddier once it's kind of in that shade. Detail gets lost. Shade, basically. Blender here, and between there. Pieces. I don't want to run the risk of going too detailed in them, because in the hands, because they'll draw your eye to them instead of them kind of just being part of everything else. Big risk that you kind of take with stuff like that. I'm gonna lighten it up just a tad. A bigger brush. Indicate there. And I'm gonna take it back. Going over. Alright, so that's good. Alright, so that's one hand that we've kind of fixed. Bring back up. Around. Here. Bigger. Cool. I am liking that better than what we had. This hand I really like, so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to just add just a little bit more of a secondary shadow in here. Bridge. And maybe I did it. Grab my blender. Drag the shadow to kind of to me a little bit more. Yeah, it's better. Still not exactly the way I want it, but pretty darn close. Just gets a little soft there now. Grab the light. And wrong brush. It's kind of along the knuckle area there. Do kind of same thing around. Oh, maybe not around those joints. It's a little too much. And save. Alright, I'm just going to take a little break from this recording, and I will pick this up later and we'll stitch these together. Hello, I'm Grant Smith, and we're back. Sorry it's 2 days later from the last time I was recording here. 2 days and a hospital trip later. So, unfortunately, I had my back seize up totally the other day, and it was so bad, the pain was so bad that I had what they call a vagal. So my blood pressure dropped significantly, and I had to be taken by ambulance to the hospital, where they checked out my heart and stuff, because they have to make sure that it's not a heart issue when your blood pressure drops that much. So that was quite the experience. But here I'm back, and I'm just going to do a little bit more. I'll take it as I go, because my back is still bothering me a little bit. I'm sitting in a more laid back position with my screen as close to me as possible here. And yeah, we'll keep on working on the hands here. Sure. What's going on here? Huh. Trying to figure out why that's not going up. Go to this layer, add a new layer, and do 16 green color maybe. See if that works. Yeah, there we go. I'm just putting in the make sure I have turn off the background layer here again, just so I have the proper shadow tone there using. Yeah, so going to the hospital during COVID was quite the experience too, since they didn't allow my wife to actually come in with me. So for about 8 hours, she had no idea what was going on and thought I had a heart attack, which would be a little bit odd at my age. So she was freaking out the whole time. But thankfully, things seem to be okay. My back being just a little sore still. Hopefully that was it. And there was no other issues. Well, the test came back good, so hopefully we don't have to stop the stream because of any kind of medical issue. I'm not sure why I'm getting. It seems like that's brush is doing something odd here.
Not really performing the way it usually does. I don't know why. Seems like it's erasing. So I must have pressed X here. Let's see if that, yeah. So that was what was going on. I can't really see my keyboard hot buttons since my monitor is covering them, so I'm just kind of doing it by feel and pressed X. Which I did it again. Jeez, that's gonna be a pain in the butt to deal with. I think I'm pressing Alt, but I'm not. Getting that. What is going on here? Am I on the correct layer? Layer here. Sure, that's on that. It paints over with the one color fine, but if I grab, oh, I have no other colors on that layer. Could that be what's going on? Go here. There we go. Yeah, so then yesterday though I had Canadian Thanksgiving, so that was good. We got together with family and had some food and stuff, and my back seemed to be fine most of the time, so that was good. Not sure if I just was working out too hard and it just took too much of a toll on my back, or if it's just been sitting at the computer a little too long for too many hours lately, or what. Hopefully that's the end of those issues. Yeah, so unfortunately nowadays, apparently with COVID, yeah, they don't let your spouse even come visit you at the hospital. So and they weren't really good on the phone of letting her know what's exactly going on. So that was pretty unfortunate. A little too saturated. I gotta remember that I did change the colors of the mirror person here. Make sure that I'm grabbing actually from that instead of us pulling it from the other person there. Don't want the highlight on the top, I want it more on the bottom. Here I do that properly. Take the brown up into here. Gonna lower the opacity on that drawing layer now a little bit. Good highlight tone here. Right, is that, yeah, it can't be the same tone as that, can it? Oh, I'm on the wrong layer, that's why. There we go, that looks right. turn that here off completely as well. Here. Okay. Mm, didn't like that shape I put in there. Go back a little. Grabbing my blender here. A little tiny bit bigger. That pitch layer back on there one more time. Knuckle area is actually quite a bit bigger. That down. And that shadow a little bit more pronounced there behind the knuckle. The brush a little bit smaller. Just gonna turn that sketch layer off again. And zoom back out here. It's looking okay. Thinking here needs to be a little bit lighter. I need this section here to be properly dark. And there should be a little bit of thing coming off the side there. This little highlight area too, I just need to fill that in for now. I'll have to go back in and put a new highlight, edge highlight on there. Alright, zoom out. Okay. Knuckles looking a little large. Gonna soften it up a little bit there. I'm just gonna take a harder brush here. We're really gonna fix up the edge here a little bit. I'm gonna put that last finger there in a little bit more shadow overall. More of the shadow color in there as well. Gonna go in now with a highlight. And Grabbing my oil 3 brush here again. Change the size of that to a bit smaller. Lighten up a little bit of that side there. One thing I wanted to experiment with was kind of seeing if I wanted to give kind of a shape like ribs coming down, but I don't think so. I'm gonna leave that. Okay, and zoom back out. Alright, so those hands look not bad. Pretty good from the angle that we're actually seeing them from. I'm gonna try a little bit of a highlight there for knuckle there, but oh, yeah, looks good. Alright, so we got one more hand here to do. I have been just doing these on a separate layer this time. Then I'll just merge the layer down after. It's just an easier way of doing it. Just to keep everything all together. As opposed to the way I did it just on the actual layer itself that I was fixing. Let me just turn back on that layer so I can see everything here and turn the opacity of that layer up a little bit again. Back down to the proper layer. Up that brush will get that all covered in. Good. And all the way out to here. Alright. Brush smaller. Be getting good highlight off this side here. And that. And saving in the background here again, so. And the recovery save, which I will use that as a reminder for me to do a regular save. And here, back to this. Alright, turn off that layer. I don't know if my noise gate is filtering it out, but you can hear a little weird noise in the background. That's my hamster running on his wheel. A little robo hamster. They're very cute. Little hamsters. Don't know which layer I have on the of this kind of that layer. Fly layer here. Okay. Cool. Just don't want that on while I'm doing this. I'll probably also redo that layer. I'm glad I didn't worried that I actually didn't keep that on a separate layer. But that, yes, I did keep it on a separate layer. Text. Sure. Put that in there. You can see you don't really have to be exact, especially with like a painting style. An ink style, you have to really have to be exact with your kind of details of everything there, but painting, get away with a little bit sloppier details in there. Because you're basically just trying to give an impression of that. Oops. So I guess I pressed save there by accident, so I'll wait for that save. Trying to control Z. Or Z if you're American. Make sure I'm back on my painting brush. Kind of highlight across there. Not that people saying Z is uncommon here. It is, but we're taught in school Z.
I think we do have it to the point where it's a good impression of a hand. Like I said, I don't want to go too detailed. It's going to draw your eye away from the actual spots that need to be fully detailed in the picture. So I did have that as a lighter highlight, it looks like originally. The hand there, I might have to go in there. A little bit lighter highlight on some of this here, but not a lot. And go make sure I can get that to pop out a little bit more. Hard push there. I'm just leaving that kind of like a little secondary highlight on the inside here, very lightly. I just took it down a little bit from what I had. In here too. Yeah. Here are those nails look a little bit better. Alright. So that's definitely a better hand than what we had. Both those hands are better than what we had. And just to save my back, I think that's where we're gonna leave it. So we just basically fixed up the hands a bit, and just get the nice zoom in here of kind of what we did. All right, so starting here, we did that hand there, and got hand in. Oh, my cursor's not showing up. Oh, then we got this hand here. We got this hand here. So that's where I'm gonna leave it for today, and then next time I'm gonna probably put in these hands, and we'll start on the background too. These hands are probably gonna be a little bit soft focus. Just so they don't draw attention over here. So detail wise, they're not going to be extremely detailed either. But all right, well, thank you for watching, and I hope you stick with us to the end here. And I just want all you guys to stay healthy. And if someone in your family thinks that they should call an ambulance for you and you're complaining and saying no, I'm fine, better to probably just listen to where things get to a point where they assume you're having a heart attack when you're not. All right, so that's where we're going to call it today, and stay creative.